hand over to Helen to facilitate the rest of the session. Helen is a registered nurse and a newly minted professor at Monash Nursing and Midwifery. Helen completed her Bachelor of Honours nursing degree in London and her Masters in Human Biology at Oxford. She has over 17 years of experience in academia involving teaching and research. She's also on the board of a residential aged care facility, has extensive clinical expertise, and she has a research agenda enhancing wellbeing and promoting safe and evidence-based care. So Helen, please welcome to the stage, and I welcome you to introduce the next speakers. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Pastor, and thank you so much for the AAG and Ghana for inviting me to chair this webinar. I'm always passionate about International Nurses Day. We know what we do as nurses, but these sort of events really shines a light for everyone about exactly what we do. And it's great to be doing that, not just for nursing, but in the gerontological nursing space, which is absolutely fantastic. And I'm really delighted for the presenters that we have today, Shrijana Gautam, Kira Kim, Prosper Bamford, and also we've absolutely special welcome to Mr. Kevin Jones, who is a resident at Warrigal Stirling, and he'll be the fourth speaker. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Shrijana Gautam, who is the General Manager at Warrigal Stirling. And Shrijana has a career that spanned 8 years in Australian aged care and really started as a care service employee and then progressed to her current role. Originally, Shrijana is from the hilly region of Nepal. She had a bachelor's degree from Bangalore in India and then a conversion program from Perth that started off her trajectory into nursing in Australia. And Shrijana talks about her passion that is looking after aged residents, as she's used the term, reflecting her dedication to providing compassionate care. And that's a great stance to have, is providing care for older people. And in addition to her work, she talks about the family and nature and follows some international bloggers, etc., beauty trends. And those of you who don't know about Canberra, she also talks about it's a beautiful place to live and to experience all those seasons of the year. We could say that about Melbourne, where I am as well. And it's surrounded by those wonderful mountains, which connects Shrijana more with the nature. So Shrijana loves that nature. I'm sure, Shrijana, those mountains remind you a bit about being in Nepal. So Shrijana, we welcome you for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much, Helen. Can you all hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Shrijana. I'm the registered nurse and general manager at Warrigal Stirling in the heart of Australian Capital Territory. Over decades of my experience into aged care setting, I have a strong commitment and collaboration with the team that I work together in order to bring and provide the well-established care to our resident by acknowledging their dignity, respect, and well-being. My journey in this field is quite rewarding because it's been set by rooted passion for providing the compassionate and the comprehensive care to the aged care residents. By being the international nurse, I also bring diverse background and the deeper understanding of elderly resident, as I grew up with my elderly grandfather and grandmother, where we look after them at home rather than in the aged care setting. So as I continue to navigate through this complexity of aged care management system, I remain committed to the most fostering, nurturing environment for my residents and the colleague that I work alongside. It also, what makes my role more enjoyable is the privilege that I get to work with such an esteemed, committed my registered nurses that works alongside me in order to and those who has got the same kind, like-minded personality and who strive for better for the aged care future in the coming years. So I will talk about now more my career path in the next slide. So my career, my journey in the healthcare system began when I chose or made that decision to go into the nursing career in 2012, when I started doing the Bachelor of Nursing Sciences from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences in Bangalore. after completing my bachelor degree in 2012, I was eager to expand my horizon. Horizon, I took that bold decision to relocate to Australia. Upon arrival in Australia, in order to get into the Australian health system, I embarked into a new career pathway, so the same career pathway, healthcare pathway. However, in the certificate 3 in aged care to understand and lay the foundation for my transition into the Australian aged care system. But while I was doing the certificate 3 in aged care, what I did, I proudly want to say that my first job in Australia as an international registered nurse was meat packer in an IGA supermarket, which actually allowed me to understand and learn the accent of Australia and the diverse culture of Australian community, while I was also learning about Australian aged care system through certificate 3 in individual support and aging. Once I completed, I started working into the aged care with the hope that I will solidify my knowledge and experience, what I have got from overseas, and also learning the system and the regulation and the care that we provide to the resident in a more advanced manner. So after doing that in 2015, I got enrolled into the conversion program after I was able to get my English proficiency testing, because that is mandatory that you need to get each band 7 on each area of English testing, like reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So I managed to get in 2015. So once after in 2015, in the same year, yes, I enrolled in conversion program through Institute of Health and Nursing Sciences, and got registered in the same year. So while I was outreaching and looking for the job, I ended up in Australian Capital Territory, which is beautiful. I proudly call home today that I am here today. So because of, I think, Australian Capital Territory, that provided me so much of opportunity to embark further into my nursing career. So once with that newfound skills and knowledge, I started working as a registered nurse in Warragul Stirling in 2015. Through my career trajectory, I assumed different roles as a care manager, as a clinical care manager, and an assistant general manager, each role giving me insight and the experience to do the better as I progress through my career. So today, I proudly serve as a general manager / registered nurse at Warragul Stirling, drawing all that diverse background and the experience that I accumulate through the year, and able to inspire and drive the people that I lead today in the heart of Australian Capital Territory. And that's how my career pathway is. And I'm here as a registered nurse / general manager at Warragul Stirling. So next slide, I will be talking about what is gerontological nursing and what does that mean to me. So gerontological nursing is a vast in its, the terminology itself. Gerontological nursing is such a specialized nursing, and GANA has worked such a great role in focusing that gerontological nursing is actually a vital nursing role that we need to recognize, because not always the aged care nurses or the people that work with the aging population are recognized in the same level as hospital nurses. So in order to draw that attention from everybody, so GANA has taken this great initiative, and I'm proud today to be the member of GANA and to talk about what aged care nursing involves. So for those who doesn't know what aged care nurses do, I want to make a little bit more, put more emphasis on what we do as an aged care nurse. So we are expert in palliative care, where we provide symptom management of residents in collaboration with our peace team in ACT. So we work closely with them, understanding grief and loss, managing the symptoms that comes along with end of life, and managing those emotion, grief and loss with the families, staff involved, and also the fellow resident that resides and known the resident for many years in the community. So the other thing is we, as a gerontological nurses, we manage complex wound at aged care setting. Yes, with the help, sometime when the wounds doesn't get healed on the time, we do consult the wound innovation, but the hard yard is done by the registered nurse on the floor in the aged care setting to manage and heal those wounds before it gets chronic. So they are expertise on that aspect as well. Conflict resolution, from the minute you become the registered nurse and start working into the aged care setting, you are a leader. You are driving a team of registered nurse, managing the allocated number of residents, and also the families that comes along with. So if there is a problem, you are the first person to step in and manage those conflicts. So I also strongly put and emphasize on the nurses that do that hard yard on the floor as a registered nurse and take those decisions, make those does those problem solving and provide the solution in that moment of time. We are, as a aged care nurses, we are psychological supporter as well as counselor, because with aging and the complexity of the aging, resident suffers through different mental health, anxiety, depression, and also with dementia, their cognitive status changes, and you as a registered nurse or a caregiver or any of the staff in the aged care setting, you're constantly helping and managing those situations with the residents, families, and staff, and also engaging with the multidisciplinary team that may benefit our residents in the home. Yes, we do. Another aspect we manage is the urology. So we manage the IDC, SPC, and the complication that comes along with it. As a registered nurse being on the floor, yes, again, we consult with our GP or the urologist if that has to escalate, but we manage that very well. And I proudly say in my home, we have laser or the zero UTI, SPC or IDC related UTIs. So we are doing remarkable well in that aspect. Stomach care, yes, we do manage stomach care really well. And also as aged care nurses, we also have a great obligation in following the medication legislation, the asset management, making sure residents are getting medication on time, making sure residents are medication are reviewed. We also greatly advocate with the GPs to make sure we look into the polypharmacy, restrictive practices, chemical restraint, and we work really closely with the GPs and pharmacist, clinical pharmacist, geriatrician in order to reduce the higher number of medication into the aged care setting. So next slide, please. We also play greater role in grief and loss and support, because once like when you have a resident living for many years in your care setting, staff developed such a beautiful relationship with our residents and even myself. So you get to see them for many years, unlike hospital setting. And when we lose those residents that are near and dear to us, staff to feel little sad about it. So we talk about it, we counsel the staff and provide that support. As a registered nurse, being that resilient and the strong leader, we support, even though you may have difficulty managing the situation, but you stand out, you show that leadership and manage those situations. Aged care nurses are also a great at identifying the medication and their physiological process. So then only we can provide the better care to our resident. If we don't know pharmacology and physiology, there is no way we could do the medication management correct. So our nurses are solid in that aspect, and we get the nurses get ongoing training every year. We also, as an aged care nurse, our gerontological nurses, we manage cardiac event in home very well and on timely manner. And also we provide mental health and cognitive support to the resident that requires in the home. Yes, nevertheless, there are other areas like respiratory care, cancer care, and many more to go that our aged care nurses just does great, the nursing care by incorporating all these topics that I discussed and provide that comprehensive care to our aging population in the home. Next slide, please. Thank you. Yes. Next slide, I'm going to talk about how me being international registered nurse influenced the work I do here. So first thing I want to talk about, being an international nurse, born and my upbringing was Nepal, and my cultural difference from Australia to Nepal is vast. So we look after our elderly resident in the home, and there is no aged care settings like aged care like here in Nepal. So we look after them until they are alive. So we take that responsibility as a family member to look after them. So coming into the aged care setting, being the international nurse, what I bring to the table is that diverse background, knowing that elderly and looking after them through those processes. We look after our resident as our own families, as our own grandparents or parents. So that kind of deep-rooted, compassionate link that we have got as international nurses, we saw that in our care to our resident at Sterling. So that's the other one thing that I want to highlight, like family-centered care. And also in Australia, I realized working through many years, we incorporate families into the care of our residents. So then resident gets the person-centered care. And there is always a family members there for the resident who can't make those decisions. So we very much closely work with families. That's the different thing I haven't learned in Australia. Cultural sensitivity. So, coming from Nepal, and again, the cultural sensitivity and cultural shock can be a great shock to many international nurses when they come to Australia, because you haven't seen the aged care setting back home, and seeing the elderly resident in the aged care, like when we see them, we take them as our own and get care that is individualized as per other care plan that is developed by our beautiful nurses on the ground. So adaptability as an international nurse, we have got the great capability of adapting to the new culture or the new changes or the new innovation that comes with evolving nursing field. So even though we may not have used those innovative devices or the technologies back in Nepal, but we are so adaptable in our nature that we learn quickly, we take under our shoulder and get into it. We do have that adaptability as an international nurse to learn and strive for better for our resident. Yes, interdisciplinary collaboration. So that plays a vital role in managing a residential aged care facility. Without me being just the general manager, it's not able to manage everything, because aged care is a broader term and it comes with a lot, not just the clinical care, a lot of aspect of residents' journey. So getting in collaboration with the multidisciplinary team like speech pathologist, dietitian, peace team who are specialized in pain management and palliative approach, geriatrician, psycho-geriatrician, older person, mental health, podiatry. So the list goes on and on. So we closely work together with those specialized area to provide the better care to our residents. And also as an international nurse, we do have greater resilience and the problem-solving ability, because, as a nurse, these are the very interlinked qualities of the nurses, that we have to be resilient and have able to critically think and solve the problem that comes on the floor each day, because you can't predict what can happen on the floor when you come on a floor for the shift. So in that respect, we are resilient and problem solver. Recourses. So coming into the obviously, when I talk about my career pathway, a lot of you may have known that if you are an international nurse, it's not an easy or straightforward that you get registration in Australia. So we have to go through a different conversion program, English testing, and also I think I have realized the things have changed, and they do now OSCE and NCLEX in order to get registration in registration in Australia. So when you come to Australia, please have that open mind that we have to do a few other steps before getting registration in Nepal, in Australia, in order to solidify your qualification that you have achieved in your years in overseas and while you continue to grow and learn in Australia. Obviously, education and training is the vital aspect, and we have to be open and open to the learning and education. And also, we solidify our aged care nurses in the home by providing the continuous education and training and making them up to date with the evolving innovation in the healthcare industry. With that, I want to conclude my presentation, and thank you so much for everyone for being into this great event and listening to our presentation, and together we can make a change. Thank you so much.
Shrijana, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for that great presentation. There's so many great things that I can take away from what you've said, so many things that resonated with me as well, from a cultural background, that older person in the family is someone that's revered and respected, etc. And the one thing I want to say is what you said was aged care is such a broad entity it covers so many different things. So thank you very much.